Okay, I haven't done a Commodore video for a while, and there's another one in the pipeline that's going to be pretty cool. In the meantime, I had someone contact me and tell me that they had an issue with their SX-64. Apparently, they can read from the diskettes, but they can't format or write to the diskettes. So they sent me their FDD card and their disk drive, one of the disk drives. And so what we're going to do is troubleshoot this issue and hopefully have a happy person on the other end once we're done. So what I'm going to do here is, here's a computer, an SX-64. We're going to put a blank disk in there, and we're going to format it and write it, so that way we know everything works here, the drive, the FDD card, and all that stuff. Okay, so we're going to go to 1541 diag, and first we're going to format. Okay, it's done formatting, and now we're going to read the disk. Okay, so we can read it. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the disk drive that got sent back and make sure that the disk drive is okay. And if it formats and reads, then we know it's the FDD card that's the issue. Okay. Okay, so here's the FDD card. Here's the drive. Okay. So this was put in the drive with the drive closed to protect the head so it wouldn't move. So I'm going to keep that aside. So okay, go ahead and turn this on. Okay, we'll put a disk in here. Okay, we're going to format first. Test 1, 2, 3. Okay, and ID 1. Okay, so it formatted fine. And then there's the directory, test 1, 2, 3, ID 1. So we can obviously make the assumption that the disk drive is fine. And by the way, this is how I test the disk drives before I ship them out. I always make sure I can format and read and all that stuff. So the disk drive looks fine. So that means that the issue is with the FDD card. So I'm going to swap the FDD card from here with the one that you sent back. I'm going to keep this drive, see if I can replicate the issue, because if I can't replicate the issue, then the issue isn't your FDD card. So let's swap out the FDD card. Okay, that was a little bit more of a struggle than normal, but nonetheless, we got it out. All right, so that's the good board. This is the board you sent back here. All right, so I can see there was already some work done on it. I don't know if you had done it or someone else. Let's take a look and test this board out first, though. Make sure that there's something wrong with the chips on the board. Okay. Okay. We'll go ahead and test it with the drive that's already in there and see if it produces the same results. We already know the other drive is good. we go. So we'll come to the diag and format. This time's test 345, so it's different. Okay. Yeah, so it's obviously not formatting correctly, and I think that was the error that you had pointed out. So reset the drive, do a directory. Okay, so it reads just fine because that's the test 1, 2, 3, and that's the disk that we formatted earlier. But like you said, it won't write or format. Okay, so we know that the issue is on your FDD card. All right, so now it's a matter of troubleshooting. I'm not going to take a scope to this. It's just way too difficult on an SX-64 to start probing everything. And so what I'm going to do is I'll swap out the chips that are renowned for this kind of trouble first. I'm going to pause this out because I'm going to take that board out and then start unplugging and unsoldering. Okay, so here we are with your board. I unsoldered these two, tested them. They turned out to be good, but not really a surprise because your logic seemed to be fine in reading disks. But again, these are two the most often failed. Well, another part of that, the 74 chips are notoriously for failing. So there's one more that I should have pointed out earlier, and that's a 7407 that goes here. And it makes sense that this might have been a culprit to begin with because your reading worked fine. It's your writing that was messed up. And, you know, this is where the drive connector comes in and comes up. And so that 7407 was the next suspect beyond these two. So here I have the 7407 plugged in here. Okay, so we can test this guy out. And we can see that it's failed. So I'm going to replace that 7407 chip, if I can find one. And let's test this board again. In the meantime, not only did I socket those three, I also cleaned up the bottom of the board. I saw that you had socketed one chip already. And so I just went ahead and just cleaned the entire board up. Okay, so let's test this out. And keep our fingers crossed. I'm pretty confident, and we'll go from there. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's turn this thing on. Let's go down to disk diag and format a disk, and then we'll call it test 54321. There we go. All right. When we do a disk directory on it, there it is, test 54321. So we can read, we can write, we can format. So I think we can call this a wrap. Obviously, if you have an issue where you can read but not be able to write or format, that 7407 or 7417 chip is the one to look at first. The 7400 chips are always suspect, so you can't go wrong looking at all three of those. So yeah. So like I always say, life is short, live it to the fullest, every day like it's your last. All right, peace out.